So picture this. My dad, a strapping young electrical engineer, comes in one day with a shiny new calculator, sleek buttons just begging to be pressed. And then he says, "This gadget is off limits." And he puts it away. Bad parenting. Because the next thing I knew, I was creeping into his room, tiptoeing to his wardrobe to get my hands on that forbidden treasure. But I was busted because he had a camera on the ready and he caught me in the act. Guys, I'm Shanoo Bhatia, and this is the opening scene of my lifelong journey pushing boundaries, driven by curiosity. Then there was school. Expected to be the student who excels, there were layers of pressure. But it also ignited in me an undercurrent of rebellion. This was just another box to break out of, right? But I truly found my voice when I stepped away from the rigid curriculum of science in Mumbai and walked into the green lawns of NID. NID was not just another school. It was a playground for the imagination, buzzing with folk who looked at the world not for what it was, but for what it could be. I felt immediately at home. I loved the curriculum. I loved pushing the boundaries of expectation. I absolutely loved blowing the lid of convention. When they asked for a two-dimensional poster, I would make sure that it was three-dimensional in some unexpected way. It was in NID that I first came across Bob Gill's book, Break All the Rules in Graphic Design, including the ones in this book. This was my epiphany. Here was a man who was saying all the things that I truly believed in, that rules were just suggestions waiting to be upended. This was my manifesto, my battle cry. And with this confidence, I marched into professional life. As an intern to an architect, my first project was design form furniture. Imagine that. Form before function. I was determined to make it completely unconventional and irreverent. And I did. My piece was called Jaws. It was the coolest music system stand. And pushing conventional design away, the media took notice and it found itself on the cover of a popular design magazine. Anyway, not my phone number. You can get it afterwards, but these two numbers mean a lot. 2004, I had a baby. 2005, I decided to throw caution to the wind and start my own design firm. Yes, I called it Eureka Moment. And I promised humans that we would create an atmosphere of uncertainty every day where only great ideas could thrive. In one of my very early interactions with a client, I realized that their very rigid, conventional ideas was threatening to overthrow some of the bold ideas that I had proposed. Now, I could have had a conversation. I could have compromised. We could have reached a solution, but I stormed out. Baby in basket, dreams and principles intact. It left the clients aghast. It lost me a client. And I'd like to believe that many years later, having all my fingers burnt and been bruised multiple times, that I'm today a little more diplomatic. But I still believe and I still have that drive to bring clients on board with big ideas. Because what really is the point or the meaning of life if you can't live by your own playbook? And I'd like to share some of my thoughts from my playbook with you. Search for that aha moment. It's so important. Eureka moment, right? India's leading law firm, Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas, approached us with a brief to design a sophisticated brand system across their print and digital collateral. Wow. I was being briefed by none other than the finest legal mind in the business, in the field, Mr. Cyril Schroff himself, which underscored the importance of this project to the firm. When he briefed me, he said very clearly that the visual identity is cast in stone and their hard-won positioning of being India's leading law firm, non-negotiable. So I took the brief back and I thought about it. And I said, you know what? It's not distinctive. I mean, arguably, any law firm can claim to be India's leading law firm, right? I mean, imagine if Quadrilegal said, hey, we're India's leading law firm. That's a legal joke. You guys won't get it. But the point is that I had to go back to him. And I told him, look, I think we need to have a workshop to discover what is truly what makes you different. And to his credit, he agreed. And so we had a workshop, and it was a turning point. Amidst an atmosphere of debate and discussion with the finest legal minds, we arrived at what truly made them different. Their pioneering spirit. This was not just any legal law firm that was leading the pack. No, they were the trailblazers. They were the ones who were setting the pace. They were setting the rules. They were doing things before anybody else. And that was their true difference. And in this insight, we were able to craft their true authentic positioning, which is ahead of the curve. Ahead of the curve is their mindset, and it is today their strapline. And then the pandemic hit. And all our work was threatened to be put on the back burner. It was worrying, but then we made a quick pivot again. We took their entire work and transformed it digitally, and we created a digital asset management system that ensured that all their lawyers, sitting wherever they were during the pandemic, had access to their branded collateral from wherever they were. I think we did some of their best work, some of our best work during this time. And I'd like to leave you with this thought that when you're faced with challenges and you convert them into opportunities, look for your aha moments. That's when you're really changing the nature of the game. Think outside the brief, guys. Nicholas Piramal Group came to us and they briefed us to rebrand them as Piramal Enterprises. Now, as with any brief, we were briefed about their business knowledge, we were briefed about their products, their impact, their customers. It was a whole lot, but we were also briefed about their business strategy, which was surprisingly rooted in ancient Indian tenets of Gyan, of Bhakti, of Karma. Now, unlike most of our rivals, for whom brand identity is just a summation of forms, I hope they have a sense of humor. For us, brand identity is something that should really sweat for the firm. It should tell its true, authentic story. So this took us back to the Piramal's doorstep. We visited their home, their offices. We tried to get under the philosophy behind their vision. And our big idea, our eureka moment, came in the form of a dance. We invited a Bharatanatyam dancer to our office. And we asked her to dance the dance of the story of Lord Buddha, how he stepped out, saw sorrow, and gave up his worldly possessions to meditate for enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. And this powerful story of knowledge, igniting action, and empowering care, all symbolized in this beautiful but powerful symbol, which is the Gyan Mudra, became the cornerstone of their identity. So I'd like to tell you here that every brief that you receive, it's just a starting point. It's a launch pad. It's not a limitation. When a visionary client approaches us, it is a cause for pure celebration. But when a trusting visionary client approaches us, we pop the bubbly. It is our invitation to experiment, to do something completely radical. And when Manipal University came to us, they wanted us to create a visitor experience center. And their brief was wrapped in trust. Make something incredible. I never thought that I would use emojis in a presentation, but honestly. And so they were a pioneering university, and we had to do something completely radical, right? So we cranked up the innovation quotient. We experimented with technology, and today visitors walk into a kaleidoscope, which mirrors the ambitions and academic pathways available to the students of Manipal. We have holograms that leap off the screen and take you through the history and the legacy of the university and its founder. We have a wraparound 360 screen that allows people to be transported to the outdoors with just a kick of a ball. And we have university students walking from one global university to the next on a suspended LED screen. Each of these moments is a nod to experimentation driven by the confidence of a visionary client. Now, stepping into the unknown like this is not without fear, especially when you have large budgets that you are responsible for. But when you have, and you shall, have a visionary client who believes in the magic of innovation, knock it out of the park. It's in these moments that they are inviting you to change the game entirely. Technology ought to be your friend, guys. With artificial intelligence and augmented reality proliferating all platforms, all applications today, it's only set to grow. We are at the cusp of that explosion. And it is a great opportunity for us to experiment. Now, I know that there are ethical considerations and contradictions that the powers may be have to take care of. But if you miss that bus, you're going to be left out. I asked a GPT to create Pixar characters of myself. It did it in under 45 seconds. Thrilling, terrifying, we are to see.
To test its capabilities, I asked GPT to write my TEDx talk, giving it all the prompt engineering it would require. The result could not have been further from who I am.
And that is because today the machine doesn't understand me. It doesn't understand 25 years of my experience, my anecdotes. Today it doesn't understand my thought processes. Today it doesn't understand my feelings. And so I say, let us understand machines before we give them the liberty to understand us and our language, because when they put a heart in it, and they will, it just might beat us to our own game. Be inspired by the maverick mindset. Look for those who are completely changing the game, those who are defiant, those who are restless, those who want to make a difference. Zaha Hadid, for her fluid architecture, one laptop per child by the Fuse Project. Humane's AI pin, which is today threatening to get rid of our mobile screens. Bradley's tactile watch for the visually impaired. Even public art, which changes our discourse with the environment. Local innovations. that make life and livelihoods more efficient, artists who have created movements so exciting. All of them have a common thread, and that is that these are people who have said, why not? And why do I have to follow conventions? Let's change things. So follow the people that the world loves to hate, because these are the people that everyone really wants to be like. These are the ones who are different, and they are the ones who make us look at the world differently. I had to do this, guys. I cannot possibly be giving you 5 principles in a rule breakers playbook. So I'm going to borrow from Bob Gill, right? And I'm going to say, forget all my principles. How on earth are you expected to live by my principles? Go make your own. But what does defiance really mean? I'd say for clients, it means strapping in for a ride into the great unknown, believing that there's a more path-breaking solution to their challenges. For consultants like you and me, it is about not being satisfied being a line item in someone's invoice. It's about the opportunity to be a shining emblem of possibility and innovation. Being defiant is not about being the troublemaker at the back of class or the one who storms of meetings. It's about rejecting the safety and the predictability of standard solutions. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying, remember, every question is your chance to rewrite an answer. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every project is a chance for you to do away with standard solutions and create legacies. The Rule Breakers Playbook is a manifesto for defiance, inviting you to reimagine your worlds, one audacious, rule-smashing solution at a time. Thank you.